Rohit, hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I do. Yes.
Okay, great. Hello and a very warm welcome to all of you. It's time for the third and the final ODI of the series being played between India and South Africa. After India leveled the series by winning the second game, the third, the decider, the final game is at the Arun Jaitley Stadium. And there is a bit of bad news at the moment coming from New Delhi, is that the toss has been delayed and there is inspection scheduled for 1:30 p.m. Now, it has been raining here in New Delhi NCR for the last 72 hours on and off, and today itself it was raining a bit, but for a while the sun is out now, and they're waiting for that wet outfield to dry out. Super soppers are at work, and let's get more details on whether it's all fine and whether we are going to get a full game. Let's go across to Rohit Bhardwaj, our colleague who joins me from the Arun Jaitley Stadium, from outside the stadium. Rohit, right now, what is the weather like? Is it raining?
The weather is actually brightening up. The weather is brightening up. The sunlight is on, and a huge amount of excitement among the fans. They are filling the stadium as we speak. And the players are out warming up while we speak about the match.
Okay, the other thing that I wanted to ask you is that the reason why the toss is delayed, is that because of wet outfield, the pitch is fine, because it has been raining non-stop?
Yes, the pitch is fine, but there is wet outfield, especially the mid-wicket area seems to be the area of concern on the field.
Okay, I think there are some audio issues there, but let's go across to Ashok Malhotra, who joins us here as well on the show. Sir, this is an emotional moment for Shikhar Dhawan. I mean, hopefully we'll get a good game, but you know, to see him captain the team here, you know, we've seen what he's done in the ODIs. This is really his home ground. So an emotional moment for him.
Definitely so. When you captain a Indian side at a home ground, definitely it's a very big achievement for you, because you roughed it out. You come from grassroots level, you know, and it's a big moment for him. Definitely, as you said, emotional moment. Definitely very emotional, but a big moment in his career. So definitely, he would like to score big on this ground, because not only it's an emotional moment, he would like to score runs in this series. He has got out quite cheaply in the first two ODIs, but this one, because it's the home ground, he knows this wicket inside out. So definitely we'll expect him to score runs, but rain permitting.
Now, of course, I don't think the players would have had a chance to look at it because the pitch has been under the covers for the last 72 hours, Rohit, but this is traditionally a pitch that has remained low and slow. Though in IPL, we've seen some high-scoring games. Any information about the pitch here? What is that going to play like? Okay, we'll try and connect with Rohit, but Ashok sir, it's interesting now how this pitch has changed at the stadium, because you know earlier it used to be a slow pitch, but in IPL we've seen some high-scoring games, and in fact, the game that I watched there in June against South Africa, that was a high-scoring game, 211, which was chased down by South Africa in the T20I series.
See, Meha, the biggest thing is they have big hitters in both the sides, and ground is very small. You know, even miss it's clear the boundary. So they are ferocious strikers of the ball. In Hindi language, you can call them latats. You know, they are the big hitters, and I feel sorry for the bowlers. For them, there's no place to hide. So definitely, and as you said, wicket is not anymore low and slow. It's a true wicket. A ball comes onto the bat, and if this kind of an outfield, this kind of a boundary, the batsmen do make merry. So definitely, it's a tough time for the bowlers. But I hope there's a little bit of moisture on the pitch, which might help the medium pacers early on, or it might help the spinners early on if there is a little bit of moisture. But wicket normally, the way they cover it, I would say it'll be the same except for a little bit of moisture. But right. It might help the bowlers.
Sure. So total ODIs played here, 26 teams batting first. Team batting first has won the match 12 times and batting second 13. The other thing is also, sir, with this team now, you understand what, we keep talking about India's batting depth. Whereas one thing that you say, okay, the depth is good. In this series, what we've seen is that the kind of talent that we have, I mean, there are close to 20 players in Australia for the T20 World Cup, including the net bowlers, reserve players. And you have a team here that is playing South Africa's, best team, South Africa's team, and winning here. So in that sense, I mean, this is India's batting has come good, and it's not just batting, bowling came good. It's looking good, this team.
Absolutely, Neha, and for me, it will be very, very difficult to decide whether we send the best team to Australia or is this the best team. So it is a toss-up between both the sides. There's not much to choose between both the sides. I know there are superstars there who've done very, very well in international cricket, but these youngsters are phenomenal, to say the least. Even the bowlers, they are phenomenal, to say the least. You talk about bowlers, your spinners, fast bowlers, and the batters, unbelievable batters. So I hope we have sent the right team. Please, I'm keeping my fingers crossed, believe you me, that we have sent the right team, because in-form batters have been left behind and out-of-form batters are out there in Australia.
So just imagine today, if Sanju Samson ends up scoring 100, or Shreyas Iyer, another good knock from him, or for that matter, Ishan Kishan, I think the selectors and the team management will also be wondering whether they did the right thing. But sir, that's the thing about these players, right? Whenever given an opportunity, and I remember having a conversation with Robin Uthappa about mental health, and one of the things he said was that it was still easier to get into the Indian team, but it's about maintaining your place there. That is so difficult. So for these guys, I mean, look at Ishan Kishan. Last series, he played against South Africa in June. He was your backup opener. Today, he does not find himself in the squad. Yet, when he's given an opportunity, he plays an innings like the one that he played in the second ODI, which is wonderful, but also slightly sad to see.
See, what Robin Uthappa said, there is a point. But the thing is, these guys don't get enough opportunities. And even if they score runs, they have to sit out. Even if they score runs, if they don't score runs, they definitely have to go out. But if they score runs also, they'll have to sit out. So that is the been undoing for the modern days cricket, because there's so many batters, so many good batters who are pushing for the places. But the problem is the big guys out there in the middle or who are on the side, they're not ready to vacate the place, or they are preferred by the selectors. Despite of these guys, I mean, look at Shreyas Iyer. What wrong he has done, why he's not in the Indian side, nobody can say, no selector, no management, nobody can say that. Yeah. So same with the now Sanju Samson or Ishan Kishan. As you very rightly said, he is down the pecking order. He was our number 2 wicketkeeper batsman after Sanju Samson. All of a sudden, he is number 4 or number 5. Yeah. So that is not fair on these guys. That is why what I am saying today, Meha, tomorrow, maybe everybody will be saying what we're saying on our channel. Yeah. Did we say if India doesn't do well, did we send the right team to Australia? It might happen, believe you me.
Absolutely. But this is also what you were talking about, Shreyas Iyer, and how good has he been through this year, sir, especially in the ODIs. We were looking at his last 6 innings, 100 and I think 3 50s. That's right, 4 50s in the last 6 innings, 113, 50, 44, 63, 54 and 80. And he's averaging above 40. In fact, he's averaging 57. His average is 57 in the ODIs and striking at 140 plus in T20 internationals this year. He is in the reserve, but he's not in the main squad. Yet you see him and you see, wow, I mean, you know, for all the talk around him not being able to play short pitch deliveries, he's scoring runs. So how do you
see that is what matters? You know, I don't care if you score the back of the bat. I don't care as long as you're scoring runs. You know, you have this weakness or that weakness. You find an excuse to drop somebody. In Shreyas Iyer, you have found an excuse of short pitch bowling, but despite of short pitch bowling, he's scoring runs by tons. I mean, last 6 innings, his lowest is 44. You know, so you can imagine, and in ODI, so whenever he goes out, he scores runs. And even in 2020, go to his 2020 record, he'll be 40 plus.
Yeah.
It's 2020 cricket too. So and with phenomenal strike rate, he's a good striker of the ball. So he must be feeling, you know, very, very disappointed. What more can he do to cement his place in the side? So that is what I'm saying. What Robin Uthappa said, it is for old days, not new days. These guys deserve the place in the sun. They deserve the place in the side the way they are performing.
Okay, I think Rohit is back with us. So Rohit, also, I mean, you were talking about how there are fans now coming to this stadium, but are you seeing as many fans, given that weather was a problem and we weren't sure if we were going to get a game today because of the rain? Are there still enough fans there, or you know?
Yeah, there are enough fans coming in, and scores of fans are still coming in while we speak. And the weather is actually getting brighter. The clouds are active.
Okay, so nothing can keep the fans away when you know, I mean, and that you see everywhere. You see that in Kolkata, you see that in Delhi. It could be raining, but people will come and watch, hope for a match to go on. But sir, also just coming back to India's bowling now, what we saw in the second game was the bowling coming good. And in recent times, you and I, we've spoken so much about, you know, what seems to have gone wrong. Why is it that this team that at one point boasted of so many good fast bowlers, suddenly all of them have gotten injured? Now we've come to a point where we don't know who's replacing Jasprit Bumrah, and the team's reached. They've already played a warm-up game. So keeping all of that in mind, this was good to see Mohammed Siraj, you know, after how he played in the first game, to come back strong in the second game. And he showed that he could bowl well in all 3 phases of the game, which is good to watch.
Yeah, he's always delivered. He's in your face kind of bowler. He never backs off. The good thing about him is he has got the attitude of a fast bowler who goes at the batter. He never backs off. Even if he gets hit for 4, he keeps you know, coming at you all the time, and that is his strength. So I would definitely back him. And the way he bowled in the last game, I'm sure it is a test of his character in this game too, because smaller ground, good wicket, and it will be a test of his character. But I would expect him to come out with flying colours, because he's a phenomenal athlete. He's a phenomenal bowler, and people do forget, Meha, that he won us the series in Australia, despite having no other bowler, no Bumrah, no Shami, no nobody. Despite of that, he bowled single-handedly and won the series for India. So people tend to forget him and Shardul Thakur. What they achieved in Australia, I think, I don't know about modern day cricket. Older days, they would have been a certainty in the side.
Also talking about Shahbaz Ahmed debuting and bowling well, how impressed were you by him?
See, I know him from Bengal. He's a very, very big match player, if I may say. He's a plus player. He bowls well. He's a good fielder, and he can. He's a very skinny kind of a guy, but packs a punch in his shots. He can hit big. So he's a plus player, you know. And not to forget, he bowls in the slog overs. He bowls in the power play. So he's a kind of a plus guy, and I think it's a good opportunity for him. I hope he catches it, because there are still 2 guys up ahead of him in the packing order, Akshar Patel and Ravindra Jadeja. But still, he's playing manfully. He's trying his guts out, and he's trying to impress the selectors, and which he's doing. And the best thing to do is bowl well, bat well, field well, and hope for the best.
Now, Shubman Gill, before coming into this series, averaging really high, has been batting well in the ODIs. Already people were talking about how he is your backup opener for the ODI World Cup next year because of just how, not just how talented he is, but also just the way he's approaching, ODIs. The other thing that you talked about, sir, in one of the shows was about, him having done well against some of the weaker teams. And this was really an opportunity against South Africa for him to say that, look, it's not just against the weaker teams where I've done well. And so 2 opportunities have gone waste. This is, again, a big opportunity for him, the decider of the series, for him to once again show that, put his hand up and say, look, I could be your opener for the ODI World Cup.
Definitely, Meha. And as I said before, he's the chosen one. So he just have to score a 50 and he'll walk into the side. The Ishan Kishans and the Ruturaj Gaikwads and the Rahul Tripatis will have to slog out there and still might not get a look at. But as you very rightly said, it's an opportunity for him. 150 and he walks in, he puts a foot into the Indian dressing room. Believe you me, he's that popular with the media, the social media, the management and the selectors. Everybody loves it. So because it looks, he's very attractive, very talented. But talent is getting runs. Bottom for me, talent is talent. Getting runs is a different ball game. So he has got more chances than anybody else. So I've got nothing against the guy, but I feel he is the chosen one. He's the preferred one. So because other guys around him are scoring runs by tons, so they don't get a look at, whereas he keeps getting a look at. But good luck to him. And I know everybody has their own destiny, so probably he will make his destiny in New Delhi.
The other thing being, sir, for South Africa now, this is more or less the squad that will go for the World Cup. I mean, this is the team that will be playing in the World Cup. How impressed are you by them? Do you see the South African team doing well at the World Cup?
They will, provided Bavuma is not playing. My thing is that if Bavuma plays, they're half the side. If Bavuma doesn't play, then they are a side which every side should be worried about, because they got some ferocious strikers, they got a good pace attack, they got a good bowling attack in Maharaj and Shamsi. So they have all boxes ticked, but for the captain, because he slows them down. He is the one. It is like having an anchor tied to your leg. It's something like that, having Bavuma in the side. So that is the major problem. If Bavuma plays, they got no chance. But if Bavuma doesn't play, then they can reach anywhere. They can reach the final. They can challenge any side.
Yeah, but if, and we know that this is going to happen, if Bavuma is fit, he is going to come back into the side.
Then no chance, sir. May have no chance whatsoever. They might not even qualify.
That's the other thing, right? I mean, there's one thing that you want to play him and he's the captain, and there are some of the issues that he's dealt with so wonderfully, and so I understand all of that. I understand the history and politics behind it. But then you have Reza Hendricks, who came in place of him and scored another 50. And then how do you tell a player like Reza Hendricks that, look, you've got to sit out? Or at least, hopefully, I'm thinking that maybe Malan will sit out, that they're not going to be as harsh to Reza Hendricks. How do you approach a situation like this?
It's $1 million question. How would Bavuma face his fellow teammates? After scoring 2 zeros in India and not scoring runs. And it is not that he's not scoring runs. He scores runs at the strike rate of 100, which is not good enough in T20 cricket. I'm not even talking about ODI. I'm talking about T20 cricket. Less than 100 strike rate. Less than 100 strike rate is slowing you down, especially in the power. That too in the power play, mind you. So I think if I would be Bavuma, I would be hiding in some corner in the dressing room. I don't know how to face the guys who are all performing. Even Malan, if you go back, he's always been performing. Reza Hendricks, this is the 5th 50 in a row from. Yeah. So he must be looking at him, and he must be having a smirk on his face and looking at Bavuma and saying, "Bugger, you don't deserve a place in the side." So that is my cause of worry, and it spoils the how can he lead a side when he is not performing?
Yeah.
when you don't deserve to be inside.
Yeah.
So that spoils the team spirit, the atmosphere, everything. So that is why it is going to hurt South Africa if Bavuma opens a place for South Africa and leads the
That's
team.
right. And it's a sticky situation that they find themselves in. Sir, do you see any changes in the Indian playing 11 from the last game in this match?
I don't see very many changes because they have done well. If they want to change, they have changed Ruturaj Gaikwad. I don't see Shubman Gill going out. Shikhar is always there. Other three are performing. So I don't see. I feel sorry for somebody like Rahul Tripathi, but unluckily he will not get a look in because I don't see him. Because Shardul Thakur, Washington Sundar, Shahbaz Ahmed, you can try Mukesh Kumar. I can say instead of Avesh Khan, whom you bowl 2 overs, you can try Mukesh Kumar and hope he comes good because he bowls wicket to wicket, bowls straight, both moves the ball around. So you can try Mukesh Kumar for Avesh Khan. That is the only change I hope and I expect.
Okay. Ashok Malhotra, thank you so much. We'll let you get back to your comms duty for the Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy. Thank you once again. Thank you to Rohit Bhardwaj as well. Hopefully, no more rain. I hope rain doesn't spoil sport in Delhi and we get a full game. That's it from us. News9 Sports is what you need to subscribe to for all the latest from the world of sports. Goodbye. Thanks for watching.